The moment she stepped out of her car, everything inside me stopped, like the universe had slammed the brakes without warning. Her hands were trembling, her eyes glossy like she had been holding back tears for miles, and the soft evening light caught every crack in her composure. I didn't know her yet, but somehow, I felt like I already did. And what happened next would unravel a truth neither of us was ready for. Before we dive into this emotional story, if you believe in second chances, unexpected connections, and the kind of love that finds you when you least expect it, take a moment to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who believes in fate, and subscribe to the channel for more heart-touching stories like this. It was just another long day at the auto shop in Cedar Falls, Iowa. The scent of oil, the hum of engines, and the familiar rhythm of tools against metal had become my entire world after everything fell apart 2 years ago. My name is Caleb Morrison, and fixing broken cars was easier than fixing a broken life. After my engagement ended in a quiet, devastating collapse, I had buried myself in work, convincing myself that some things simply weren't meant to be repaired. That evening, just as I was about to close up, I heard the sound of a struggling engine pulling into the lot. It coughed twice, sputtered, and then died completely. I stepped outside, wiping grease from my hands, and saw her sitting behind the wheel, gripping it like it was the only thing holding her together. Her name, I would later learn, was Hannah Brooks. She stepped out slowly, brushing her dark hair behind her ear, her face carrying the kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from one bad day, but from too many in a row. There was something raw about her presence, something unguarded that made it impossible to look away. She walked toward me with hesitant steps, explaining that her car had been making strange noises all day before finally giving up on her. Her voice was steady, but there was a quiet fragility beneath it, like glass that hadn't shattered yet, but might at any moment. As I popped the hood and began inspecting the engine, she stood nearby, wrapping her arms around herself as the cool air settled in. There was silence between us, but not the uncomfortable kind. It felt familiar. Like two strangers who didn't know they had already crossed paths in ways they couldn't yet understand. While checking the battery connection, I asked if she had somewhere to be. She hesitated before answering, her gaze drifting away for just a second too long. She admitted she was supposed to meet someone for dinner. It was a blind date, set up by her best friend, who insisted she needed to get back out there after a difficult breakup. Something about the way she said it made my chest tighten. I nodded, pretending it didn't matter, even though I had my own blind date scheduled that same night. A setup by my sister, who had grown tired of watching me live like a ghost in my own life. I had agreed reluctantly, more to stop her nagging than out of any real hope. The irony hung in the air, invisible but heavy. Her car wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. The alternator had failed completely, and it would take hours, maybe until morning, to fix it. When I told her, her shoulders sank, and for a moment, it looked like the weight of everything she had been carrying finally pressed down all at once. She sighed softly and pulled out her phone, staring at the screen like she didn't know what to say. I found myself offering to let her wait inside the small office while I arranged for a tow or a ride. She thanked me with a tired smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Inside the office, the dim lighting and quiet space seemed to slow time. She sat across from me, her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee I had offered, even though she barely drank it. There was a silence again, but this time, it felt like something was building beneath it. We started talking. Not the shallow kind of conversation you have with strangers, but the kind that happens when two people are too tired to pretend anymore. She told me about her past relationship, the way it had slowly drained her, how she had given everything to someone who never truly saw her. And without meaning to, I told her about mine. The way my engagement had ended with a quiet goodbye instead of a dramatic explosion. The way I had convinced myself that maybe love just wasn't meant to last for people like me. There was something strange happening in that room. The walls felt closer, the air heavier, but in a comforting way. Like we were both stepping into a space where honesty didn't hurt as much. Then her phone buzzed. She glanced at it, her expression shifting from neutral to confused. "What is it?" I asked, more curious than I intended to sound. She hesitated, then turned the phone toward me. It was a message from her blind date. A name. My name. Caleb. My stomach dropped. Slowly, almost mechanically, I pulled out my own phone and opened the messages from my sister. There it was, the name of the woman I was supposed to meet. Hannah. We looked at each other in complete silence, the realization settling in like a sudden storm. All the pieces clicked into place at once, the timing, the circumstances, the strange sense of familiarity. She came to fix her car. And somehow, she had found me instead. At first, neither of us laughed. It didn't feel like a joke. It felt too real, too intentional, like something bigger had been quietly guiding us toward this exact moment. Then, slowly, a small smile broke through her expression. Not a forced one, not polite, but genuine. The kind that comes when something unexpected feels right. I found myself smiling back. We didn't leave for dinner. We didn't need to. Instead, we stayed there, talking for hours as the night deepened around us. The world outside faded away, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like I was hiding from anything. She wasn't what I expected. She was better. There was a softness to her strength, a quiet resilience that made everything she said feel real. She didn't pretend to have everything figured out. She didn't try to impress me. And somehow, that made everything about her unforgettable. As the night stretched on, something shifted inside me, something I thought had been permanently broken. The walls I had built so carefully began to crack, letting in something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. Eventually, the conversation slowed, not because we had nothing to say, but because we had said enough to understand something important. This wasn't just coincidence. It was timing. And maybe, just maybe, timing had finally decided to be kind. Before she left, I offered to fix her car first thing in the morning, refusing to let her pay. She protested at first, but eventually gave in, her smile carrying a warmth that lingered long after she walked out the door. As I watched her leave, I realized something I hadn't allowed myself to believe in for a long time. Not all broken things stay broken. Some just need the right moment, and the right person. The next morning, I arrived early, determined to finish her car before she came back. Every bolt I tightened, every part one replaced, it all felt different. Like I wasn't just fixing a machine. I was fixing a moment. When she returned, the sunlight caught her face in a way that made everything feel new. She looked lighter, like the weight she had been carrying had shifted, if only a little. When I handed her the keys, our fingers brushed for just a second. And somehow, that small moment said more than anything we had talked about the night before. We didn't rush anything after that. We met again, not because we had to, but because we wanted to. Slowly, carefully, we built something real. Not perfect, not rushed, but honest. We learned each other's fears, our habits, the quiet things that make people who they are. And for the first time, love didn't feel like something that could be lost at any moment. It felt steady. It felt safe. It felt right. If this story is touching your heart even a little, take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind us what it means to truly connect. And before we reach the end, I have a special request for you. Comment the word fate if you believe that some people are meant to find each other, no matter how unexpected the moment may be. Years later, I would still think about that night, the broken car, the quiet office, the moment everything changed. Not because it was dramatic or perfect, but because it was real. Because sometimes, life doesn't need grand gestures or perfect timing. Sometimes, it just needs two people to show up, exactly as they are, and be willing to try again. She came to fix her car. But somehow, we ended up fixing something much deeper in each other. And if this story made you feel something, anything at all, Don't scroll away quietly. Like, comment, and share your thoughts, because your engagement helps keep stories like this alive. Because somewhere out there, someone is about to walk into a moment they never saw coming. And it might just change everything.